Over a year ago, I did a commentary on a counterthink video revealing that the FBI is a terrorist organization, that the FBI sets up and carries out nearly all of the terrorist plots in America, so that they can then catch themselves doing it, or technically catch their operatives and informants, and then make a big deal in the media. Oh my God, someone was going to blow up a bridge in Cleveland, and good thing we stopped them. We're the FBI. We need more funding and power. We need to be able to spy on everybody, right? Turns out the FBI is doing it all along. Well, now Tucker Carlson has blown the lid on this, and it is all over the place. Revolver.news did a big piece on this about the Capitol siege on January 6th. And it turns out the FBI ran that too. Oh, and the FBI ran the supposed kidnapping attempt of Michigan Governor Whitmer. No surprise there. This is all coming out. And now we have the Attorney General Garland basically turning the national security apparatus against the American people while essentially denying that there's any threat from outside America. So between Biden and Garland, they're saying that, gosh, no one needs to be afraid of, communist China or Russian hypersonic missiles or North Korea EMP attacks or the open border of the United States being flooded by an invasion of illegal immigrants. They're not immigrants, they're illegals, because immigration is a legal process and they didn't follow it. They're not immigrants. They're illegal invaders. See, they've even got me using the wrong words on this. I got to stop using the word immigrants. I married an immigrant, by the way, so I know what real immigration is, and I support legal immigration. And that was, almost 30 years ago, by the way. So I do support legal immigration, but I do not support illegal invasions of America. But anyway, so you've got the whole national security apparatus now saying there's no threats except white people. Well, especially white conservative people, white Christian people, white MAGA people, QAnon people, Trump supporter people, whatever twisted stuff they're into. If you speak out against any of that, now you are you're a domestic terror threat. And this is how they're going to go after the anti-vaxxers and the gun owners and the Christians and the Trump supporters and the patriots and the veterans and the retired cops and everybody who has morals or ethics. You're now labeled a domestic terrorist, according to Attorney General Garland. And don't forget, the Democrats wanted to make Garland a Supreme Court justice. Yeah, they wanted him sitting on the bench, the most unjust person imaginable in this position of power. They wanted him as a justice of law. Give me a break. So this is what we're dealing with right now. We're going to cover a lot of this today. Going to try to move quickly and keep this close to an hour. I'm doing better. I think yesterday's was only an hour and 15 or hour and 10 minutes. First, I did an interview with Jeffrey Prather. And it's just a bombshell interview. I finished that interview yesterday. It's going to be posted, I think, tomorrow morning or maybe later this evening, but probably tomorrow morning, Friday morning. It's just a bombshell interview. It's about an hour. You got to hear this interview. Prather always impresses me with his analysis. And when he and I get together, there's something amazing that happens between, like, bouncing ideas back and forth. He's a smart guy, and he claims that I've got good analysis too. You can make up your own mind, whatever. But between the two of us, we are putting out some really powerful information. This is about China, the potential for an attack on America, national security, what's happening with the national security apparatus, the FBI, false flag attacks. And I even asked Jeffrey Prather about aliens and UFOs, and he has an interesting answer on that, because he says he's been to some of the deep, secure areas inside super secret, sectors of the government. And he gives us some interesting answers on all of that. Spoiler alert, he does not think it's little green men, but you can listen to the interview yourself. Definitely check that out. I also interviewed Steve Quayle, and with Steve Quayle, we did talk about demon creatures coming through portals and like pretty interesting stuff. Definitely more of a Twilight Zone topic list, but you got to hear that interview with Steve Quayle. That's going to be posted probably this weekend, and it's also mind-blowing. but just understand you may not sleep. You might have nightmares after listening to that interview, because Steve Quayle and I, we know the truth, we know what's coming, and we know it's more than just Earth-based. This is a war involving demonic entities. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Oh, and with Steve Quayle, we pondered the question: can you use AR-15s to shoot demonic creatures that materialize on planet Earth? And the answer, it turns out, is yes. So yes, your AR-15s work against demon creatures stepping out of the portals, coming up out of the vortexes in the ground, or falling out of the sky, whatever. I don't know how they get here. Beaming in with teleporters, whatever it is, you can shoot them. If they can move, if they've got bones and tendons, you can break those bones with carefully placed fire rounds from an AR. So no wonder Biden wants to take away your guns. He wants you to be eaten by aliens. Huh? Okay, we're just getting started too. This is getting crazy. The Health and Freedom Conference in Tampa begins today. By the time you hear this, it's probably on, and we are supposed to be streaming it, and you can watch the whole thing. It's 3 days. You can watch it for free at stream.brighteon.com. Click on the first link there, and you'll be able to see the stream. Now, I can't guarantee 100% that we won't have some kind of glitches or feed problems or whatever, but we're all set up to do the streaming, and it's free. So share the link and enjoy the show. That's Clay Clark's show. I'm not there, but a lot of great, wonderful people are there. Speakers, I mean, again, 3 days of speakers. It's going to be an amazing event. But this is one case where I'm personally glad I'm not going, because from what I've learned lately, I need to spend every spare minute prepping. I honestly can't afford 3 days. I mean, plus travel time, it's like another day each way. I mean, I can't take 5 days out of my schedule. I'm prepping for the end of the world here. So I'm just going to watch it remotely like you and send prayers and blessings to everybody who's there. Now, moving on to insane news headlines. I need a little logo for that, like insane news. Maybe we'll put something together with some instruments or something. But Germany, this is from LifeSite News. Germany has banned the killing of chick embryos, that's baby chickens, because they feel pain, but still allows abortions of humans. Of course they do. Yeah, because, human babies can be murdered by progressive societies, but animals are sacred. So the German legislature passed a law that forbids the killing of 6-day-old chick embryos. This is when they're still in the egg, by the way. As well as the killing of chicks because of their sex. Did you know male chicks, little baby roosters, they're pretty much just ground up into dog food. I don't know if you knew that, because, I raise chickens, and if you have too many male roosters, it is truly a nightmare. They are vicious to the hens, and they're vicious to each other. Yeah, and somewhere along the line, you got to process the males, because otherwise they will rip each other's eyes out, literally. I've seen it myself. It's horrifying. So anyway, in the chicken industry, they kill the males. It's kind of like what Bill Gates wants for humanity, or the radical left for that matter. Kill the males, feed them more soy isoflavones, turn them into females. It's Soylent Green time. But as LifeSite News explains, they're sensitive to pain. The chicks are, according to the German legislature, which is probably true. But then meanwhile, human babies are legally tortured and murdered in the womb in Germany and most other countries in the world. So David Engels, the chair for Roman history at the University of Brussels, tweeted this out in response, sarcastically, quote, "When the chicken embryo enjoys more protection of life than the human embryo, you know you've arrived at the best Europe ever. Isn't that true? Yeah. Kill the human babies, save the baby chicks." Yeah. Okay. Here's something else interesting. This is from Epoch Times. The IRS has just accidentally admitted that prayer works. This is great. So the IRS has denied tax exemption status to a Texas religious group because they say that prayer and Bible reading boost the Republican Party. That's right. So the IRS issued a letter to this group that says, quote, "You do not qualify as an organization described under IRS Section 501c3 because you engaged in prohibited political campaign intervention by praying for Republicans." Turns out this group prays for everybody. It prays for Democrats too, probably prayers like, "Come back, you don't have to give your life to Satan," things like that. But they pray for everybody, and the IRS says prayer benefits Republicans more than Democrats. Yeah, because so the IRS admits that prayer works and that prayers to God benefit Republicans, but probably prayers to Lucifer benefit the Democrats. Yes, I'm sure the IRS would gladly grant tax-exempt status to a left-wing group that ritualistically sacrificed children for adrenochrome bloodletting and had like demonic statues, like burning pentagrams and whatever, spirit cooking, whatever weird crap they're into. The IRS would say, "Oh yeah, that's tax exempt. Yeah, go keep doing it." But this is how incredibly insane things are. Okay, moving on. According to ecowatch.com, they've cited a study that says 44% of ocean plastics are linked to takeout food. I mean, we've all heard about microplastics all over the world. They're in the air, they're in the soil, they're in the oceans like crazy. Humanity is killing the oceans with plastics. And by the way, it's not so much from the US, it's mostly China and India. It turns out they're just dumping trash everywhere. Have you ever driven through Panama? Have you ever seen the side of the highways in Panama, or frankly, most of Mexico, Central and South America? It's like a trash fiesta, except in certain places that clean up better. But for the most part, I remember driving through Panama. I'm like, was there a tornado that struck a convoy of trash trucks here? What happened? I've never seen so many plastic bags and chunks of styrofoam lining the side of the highway. And they're like, "No, it's just Tuesday. This is Panama. Welcome. We have a canal too. It's lined with trash as well." So anyway, it's takeout food. So let's see. The study leader, Dr. Carmen Morales of the University of Cadiz, Spain, said, quote, "It was shocking to find out that bags, bottles, and food containers and cutlery," that's plastic cutlery, "together with wrappers, account for almost half of the human-made objects on a global scale. We found them in rivers, on the deep seabed, on shorelines, and floating off our coast." Yeah, they're also in the stomachs of sharks and whales and dolphins and basically everything that eats in the ocean, just filled with plastic now, turtles. It's insane. It's insane. We're killing the planet with plastic. And there's only 10 plastic products that turns out make up about 75% of the ocean's litter. You can probably guess what those 10 things are, like straws and lids and bags and like ketchup packets or whatever. And now masks, because they have plastic components. This is nuts. But sadly, this is probably being cited by Bill Gates right now. Bill's probably like, "See, I told you, we got to kill 90% of the people to stop the plastic." I mean, this is part of their justification. I mean, I agree pollution's a problem, but mass genocide is not the answer. No, it turns out it is not. Now, speaking of globalists, Bill Gates is one of them, and Jeff Bezos is another one. I call him Bezos. Did you know he's flying on a rocket ship? He's paid a bunch of money. He's going to be launched into space next month with a company that built a giant penis-shaped rocket ship called Blue Origin. You thought I was joking the other day when I said there's a penis on Jupiter? No, Jeff Bezos is in that giant penis. He's launching off the Earth in a giant penis rocket ship. Now, there's been a petition that was posted online. Thousands of people have signed it, and it calls for Jeff Bezos to be denied re-entry to Earth. I think it's great. I mean, we finally got rid of the guy. And you know what? You're just going to let him achieve re-entry in his giant penis capsule? Well, I don't wish harm upon anybody, but space flight is dangerous. We'll just see how this goes. That's all I'm saying. We'll just see how it goes. I hope he's safe in orbit and everything, but we'll see.